Okay, so let me explain you the paper pattern. In business studies, you have two papers, and in both papers, we have to attempt all questions. And the duration is also the same, and the total marks are also the same. But just one difference is that in paper 2, so business studies paper consists of two papers, that is paper 1 and paper 2. You have to attempt all questions. Business studies paper consists of two papers. First is the paper 1 and the other is paper 2. You have to attempt all questions in both papers. Okay, so the first main content that we are going to cover is the purpose of business activity. Why do we actually conduct a business? And why do we actually involve in certain activities that are linked with our business? So let's check out. Combine factors of production to create goods and services, employs people and pays them wages so they can consume other products. Goods and services satisfy people's wants. Okay, so the main purpose of a business is not just to earn profits, but the other most important reason for conducting a business activity is to use the factors of production, the resources. You know what are factor of production? Land, labor, entrepreneur, and capital. You use land, a physical location, for setting up your business. Then you use labor. You employ skilled and manual labor to conduct that business. If, for instance, if you have a textile business, so you employ laborers to operate machines. You employ certain other staff members for some sort of other business responsibilities. Then you have capital. Capital is basically the investment that you first pay the initial investment in establishing a business, and the investment goes on. Then you invest in certain raw materials, then you invest in machinery, then you also invest in production, then you invest in promotion of your business. So investment is is a factor that takes place on continuous basis. Then you have an entrepreneur or the enterprise, that is basically the person or firm that is actually running a business. So you combine all these factors of production to produce any goods and services for your basically the customers, and then the people, those who are employed in your organization. You pay them wages, you pay them salary, you pay them fringe benefits and other compensatory benefits, and they are also the people who consume your products. And the basic thing is to actually satisfy your customers by your goods or by your services, because customer loyalty, customer retention is most important factor in the business. Okay, then you have types of business activity. What are the different types of business activities? First is the manufacturing businesses that makes things. For instance, it's basically the manufacturing, the production businesses, or you can say the agriculture sector of a country. Like for instance, Pakistan is a manufacturing sector as well, and it also has service business, and it also has merchandising business. So those firms that are basically dealing with the production of certain raw materials, or production of fruits and vegetables and these kinds of things, they are known as manufacturing businesses. Then you have, they are basically called the primary industries, primary sector. Then you have the secondary sector that involves merchandising businesses, buying and reselling of things. It involves retailers, it involves wholesalers that either purchase on bulk or they purchase in small quantities and then sell their products to customers. So these are basically the secondary sector businesses. Then the third is a service business, or you can say the tertiary sector, that involves hotels. You are providing room services. Then you have banks who provides you know, account services, dealing with your daily basis payments and providing you profits on your accounts. Then it's laundry services. So any business that provides you services, it can be teaching sector as well. So they are all called tertiary sector businesses. Then you have forms of business organization. How you can classify business organizations. First is a sole proprietorship. There is only a single person who is running the business, and he is the entrepreneur of the business. He came up with an idea of a business, and he is the only one who is managing the whole operations of the business, ranging from you know, for instance, you have Miss Anna, for instance. Okay, Miss Anna is running a kids clothing and accessories business. So she has a lot of vendors who provides kids stuff, jewelry, and shoes and kids clothing stuff. So she has, you know, direct link with the vendors as well, and she's going to choose those vendors who provide her with reasonable rates. And if she's purchasing in bulk, so she needs to, you know, cut down her cost as well. So she is dealing with the vendors, and then she is conducting the procedure of marketing her business, and then she is, you know, getting customer orders. So she is managing the customer um, sector as well, and the marketing sector as well. And then she also has, you know, links with the rider services, whether she is using a courier services or whether she is using a private rider. So she is having a lot of links with these departments. So she is the only one who is running the business. Then you have non-profit organization. These are the ones that you know, have business but not for the sake of profit. You can have the NGOs that are working for the needy ones, but they are not profit based. Then you have corporation, big organizations that are, you know, on large scale, and they hire people, and then they train people. They provide goods and services to the customers. Then you have general partnership. You are in sort of a short term or a long term agreement with another person. You are basically sharing the profit ratio. Then you have limited liability. So you are a part of a business until, for instance, a business is facing any financial crisis. So they do not cover those. They do not cover the money from your personal assets. Okay, so you have a limited liability and a limited contract with any of such corporation. Then you have government and economic influence on business, or you can say other external influences of business. Basically, there are two kinds of influences that affects business. First is the micro level factors, okay, and the other are the macro level factors. So if we just look on this pest analysis, so you can further get an idea that micro factors are those that are, you know, small scale factors affecting the business, whereas the macro level factors are those that are unavoidable and uncontrollable, and they are either the economic factors or the political factors. So for instance, if fashion changes, if the desire for a product or a service changes, so it is going to affect business. So it's called a social factor. It is controllable because you can, you know, produce those things that are in the fashion that people wants you to make. So you cannot produce products that have no demand, or else you will be at loss. Then you have technological factors. For instance, your research department is very weak and you are not conducting proper market research, due to which you are creating producing products that are not in demand, that are or you can say that the demand of the products will fade out in few years. So you need to have very strong research department. So technological factor is also controllable. Okay, you can control your market research, you can control over the technologies you use to conduct market research. Then you have political and economic factor. These both are uncontrollable and unavoidable. For instance, if you are facing inflation, then the prices of the products rises. So it's not in your control. You cannot lower down the prices. And for instance, if you see economic factors, it's the same. If you are, if there is a lot of inflation in a country, the prices of products rises. Only you can do is you can cut down your wants and desires, and that's it. So you cannot enable the government to change its policies. You can just do things on your own side. Business costs and revenues. We are going to conduct a short intro of this section. Okay, if we talk about break-even analysis, for instance, you did a market research and your market research did not went well. There are flaws in your market research. Okay, you come up with production of glucose biscuits, and due to improper market research, you promoted your products to a certain area of the city where you have a lot of aged people. So what will happen? Aged people will not eat glucose biscuits because they might be sugar patients, and they might be not willing to eat those biscuits. So what will happen is that you are going to get more loss than profit. Okay, for instance, if you did another market research and it also went wrong, what you did, you introduced sugar free biscuits, but in that city in which you had more children. So what will happen? Children are not attracted towards sugar free biscuits. They want something that is sugary, they want something that is chocolatey, so they won't go towards the sugar biscuits. So what will happen? You will receive more loss and less profits. Okay, for instance, if you did market research again, you introduce glucose biscuits in the area that where you have more children. So what will happen? You will get more profit because your product will be selling at a greater cost. So, but how will you find a break-even analysis? For instance, if you just came up with a new product, okay, anything that is unique and something that is new, so it is going to take time. It might not give you profits all of a sudden. It might take 3 months, it might take 6 months. So at this stage where your profit and loss is the same, it's called break-even analysis. You are not getting profit and you are not even facing loss. Okay? Only your costs are being covered. So this is called a break-even analysis. The point where you will be facing loss will not be a break-even point, and where you will be facing with a lot of profits will not be a break-even point. So either you will be going to a profitable side of the business, or either you will be going to a loss of the business. So any point where your profit and loss is equals is called break-even analysis. Okay, what is economies of scale? So just let me give you a brief introduction. If, for instance, I am you can say a reseller. आजकल रीसेलिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट बहुत ज़्यादा चल रहा है ई कॉमर्स के ऊपर, ठीक है. If I, for instance, have a contact with the vendor, okay, and I ask him that I won't buy in bulk, you just give me the pictures of your products and I am going to place it on my page and then promote it to the customers, and whenever I get an order, I'm going to place the order to you and I'm going to get that product picked up and I will deliver it to the customer, and we can deal on with further details of the payments. So if for instance I buy a shoe and its cost is, for instance, a newborn shoe I buy, for instance, ठीक है, just one pair. So if I'm buying just one pair, so it's going to cost me on about 120 rupees, for instance, ठीक है. But if I buy a pair of 10 shoes, so each shoes is going to cost me 80 rupees. Okay, so what is more beneficial, buying one pair of single shoe, or just displaying and ordering one pair of single shoe, or buying 10 pairs of shoes and on rupees 80? If I buy a single pair of shoe for rupees 120 and I sell it at 150 rupees, I am getting a 30 rupees profit. But if I buy 10 pairs of shoes for 80 rupees each, and when I am selling those shoes to any of my customer, like for instance from those 10 pairs of shoes I am selling one pair of shoe for instance of rupees 150, so how much profit am I making? Rupees 70. So is 30 rupees profit more or is 70 rupees profit more? Yes, 70 rupees profit is more. So buying in bulk reduces the cost and there are greater risk of earning higher profit. For instance, let me give you another example. You have a room and you are paying, you have, for instance, you have taken an apartment on rent, okay, but you are using just one room of that apartment. आप पे तो पूरे अपार्टमेंट का रेंट रहे हो, ठीक है, बट यू आर यूजिंग जस्ट दैट वन रूम फॉर इंस्टेंस कोचिंग पर्पस एंड नॉट द अदर टू रूम्स. So what will happen, you are paying the rent for the whole apartment, okay, you are paying the electricity bill and other variable cost for the whole apartment, but you are just using a single room. So if you are using the other two rooms as well, so you will be able to allocate resources more efficiently and you will be able to earn more profit by consuming the whole of the apartment for education purpose. So through this you will get more benefit and your cost is also going to get minimized. Then for instance, if you are facing a risk at, for instance, you have two shops, okay, and one of the shop is like you are facing certain financial crisis maintaining that shop. So what will you do? Instead you are going to think of diversifying your business. Diversifying a business in sense that you will close down that shop from that location and open it somewhere else where you can think your shop will work more, you will get more customers. So this is how you are going to spread risk and you are going to diversify your business so that एक शॉप पे लॉस होने से बेहतर है कि आप इसको बंद करके आप कहीं और इन्वेस्टमेंट करो and you try and start from scratch in a better location. Then what is an organizational structure? You have a CEO, the head of the company, then you have board of directors, you have stakeholders, you have shareholders, then you have the managerial staff, the manager, the deputy manager, or the department manager. Then you have the operational staff, the technical staff, salespersons, technical staff, the officers. So this is a complete organizational structure of a firm. Communication in a business, it is very important that you maintain a very good communication in your business. So there are four kinds of communication that takes place in a business. One is the internal but upward communication, in which your subordinates convey certain messages to their managers. Internal downward, it's orders or any policies that your managers convey to the subordinates. Then you have internal lateral, in which the subordinates contact with each other on the same floor, like same designation people contact with each other. Then you have external communication with external parties outside the company. For instance, you are outsourcing your producers, you are, for instance, outsourcing from a software agency, so you are having communication with those organizations. That is called external communication. Now we will discuss why is motivation at work very important. If you are not motivated at work, you will not give prompt response. You will not be able to achieve the organizational goals. So what makes you committed and motivated to work? For instance, you are earning good, but you are not paid any other fringe benefits such as medical allowance, fuel allowance, or credit allowance. So if you are being paid such fringe benefits, more people, more good human resource you will be recruiting. For instance, you are working somewhere but you don't know whether your job is permanent or not, your job is secure or not. So people have certain issues with job security. They want certain jobs that are secure, and you are not in that stage of switching jobs. Then it's the work itself. For instance, if you are in a work in which you are having mental pressure, so you will not enjoy your work. So it's very important that the work that you do makes you enjoy it. Then it comes career advancement. For instance, you are working in a firm for the last 10 years, but you are on the, okay, let's make it 5 years, but you are on the same position and there is no career advancement, or your firm is not giving you chances for job rotation or job enrichment, but sticking you towards the same job role. So your career is not being advanced. So people look for firms that provide career advancement opportunities so that they can learn more and they can succeed more. Then it comes to working conditions. For instance, I give you an example. I When I was in my school, I went to Feroz textile mills. So there was just one little a ventilation window. There might be more, but I just came across one. So you can see that the workers working over there might face so much congestion, so much fatigue in working. Like, if I, being a normal person, can face such things, so what about the people working over there? So the working conditions should be feasible, should be relaxing, and they should be very good so that the people enjoy their work. Recruitment, training, and human resources, one of the main asset of an organization are the people working in the organization. And HR is not just about hiring and firing of employees, it involves a lot of other functions. So basically, HRM of a firm, the HR department, conducts specific job analysis, and then they recruit people through extensive recruiting process. Then they analyze a lot of CVs, they screen they screen the candidates, they choose the right candidate for the right job, then they conduct interviews, and once a person is being appointed, so what happens is that they provide him training. Training is either on the job training, he is being trained during his job hours, or it can be off the job. in which the candidates are, sent to any conferences, any seminars, or any physical training to enhance their work experience. Then you have the compensation and other fringe benefits involved in HR, providing medical allowance, leave allowance, um, medical leaves, medical benefits, fuel allowance. Then you have the performance appraisals. The performance of the employees is being evaluated on yearly or bi-monthly time. And then HR also involves keeping the employees motivated and offering career development, advancement, so that people retain to the organization as well, and find it beneficial for them as well. Otherwise, if they are going to switch, so it will be a loss for your firm. Okay, then the most important aspect for any organization is its marketing department, and you basically will be learning about how marketing mix plays an important role. So, marketing mix contain of product, price, place, and promotion, which are the main four P's of marketing mix. But actually, you have seven of them. So, the place, whether your business is retail, whether it's a wholesale business, whether it's any import or export business, so this is the first dimension of your business. Then you have the product, what kind of product you're offering, how beneficial is that product, what makes that product differentiate with that of its competitors. Then you have the price, are you adopting such pricing strategy that is according to your competitors, or what kind of strategies you are planning, whether you are planning for cost reduction, whether you are you know planning to have competitive pricing. So it is all being discussed in the unit of price. Then you have promotion, what strategies do you use to promote your business, what kind of advertising do you use. Then you have the people, what are the different kinds of people involved in your business, whether it's the founders or the employees or the employer, the customers. Then you have the process. For instance, do you have an adequate complaint service, do you have an adequate after sales service, whether you have any delivery service or not. Then it's the physical evidence. It includes, for instance, you have any physical office for your business, or do you have a physical head office, or whether your company is registered or not. So these all things are part of the marketing mix. So that's all from my side in this demo session. So if you are satisfied, you can contact me, and we can have proper sessions of O level or IGCSE business studies. And inshallah, apart from lectures, we shall be conducting past paper sessions as well. So take care of yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my video. Allah Hafiz.